Five innovative pieces of technology that failed miserably. Number 5. Intellivision. The Mattel Intellivision was a home game console released in 1979. Development began less than a year after the introduction of its main competitor, arch nemesis, the Atari 2600. It had graphics and sound capabilities that put the 2600 to shame, but that was only the beginning of its innovations. Intellivision was the first 16-bit gaming system, the first to feature voice synthesis, and easily the first to feature downloadable games via cable. But poor marketing, along with a poorly designed non-ergonomic 16-direction control pad, led to Mattel selling only 3 million units over its lifetime. Not bad, you say? The underpowered Atari machine sold 10 times the number. In 1983, the video game market crashed, only to be revived by the Nintendo NES, a system with all of the Mattel's innovations but none of its shortcomings. Number 4. First digital home video format was introduced in 1978, known as Laserdisc or DiscoVision because this was the 70s. Brought to market just 2 years after the introduction of videocassettes, this high-capacity digital storage format meant video and audio quality far exceeding any VCR. Compact discs, still 4 years down the road, were based on this technology. Laserdiscs boasted extremely sharp images, the likes of which had not yet been seen on home video, as well as digital surround sound. Unfortunately, the discs were heavy and easily damaged, and the players quite loud compared to VCRs. There was no recording capability, and the discs and their players were super expensive. VCRs reigned supreme until the advent of the DVD, which was a kind of mini laserdisc. Number 3. Cinerama. The very first widescreen projection format, Cinerama, made IMAX look like a wussy. Projecting a Cinerama film meant projecting 3 synchronized 35mm projectors simultaneously onto a gigantic curved screen. While technically challenging to present and requiring a skilled projectionist, or 3, the results were visually astounding and far ahead of any other method of the time. Did we say technically challenging? We meant damn near impossible. Projecting 3 films with perfect synchronization is every bit as hard as it sounds, and there was no means of automation. The projectionists just had to be that good. Plus, very few theaters were willing to make the necessary and expensive modifications. As a result, only a couple of dozen films ever used the format. Number 2. Betamax. As the other home video cassette format, Beta is synonymous with also ran. Sony's format offered much smaller, more durable cassettes and better resolution than JVC's competing VHS format. Betamax even beat VHS to the US and Japan markets by over a year. So what went wrong? The format wars between Beta and VHS are the stuff of tech legend. Sony misjudged the home video market in a number of ways, but the most likely cause of Beta's failure was Sony's reluctance to license its technology. JVC had no such qualms, resulting in a wide array of manufacturers selling VHS machines much more cheaply than Betamax. Also, Beta machines could initially only record for 60 minutes, compared to the 3 hours of VHS. VHS wins E. Number 1. Quadraphonic Sound. Simply put, Quad would now be called 4.0 surround sound. Like stereo, but twice as much. It was intended to replicate the experience of live sound on speakers, which it did. Debuting in 1971, several quad vinyl records were released in differing, and incompatible, formats. Played on the right system, the 3D audio result was pretty spectacular. But there are about a billion ways to produce quadraphonic sound, and no single format was ever agreed upon. Dolby Surround Sound, which does pretty much the same thing, was standardized and eclipsed quad quite quickly. Of course, Surround is primarily used for movies. For listening to music, most people think stereo is just fine.